guys are doing very good things for God. It was very beautiful when you guys were. Yep. We're going to make some more, okay? Now you guys are standing for God, right? Now you should sign up and speak, okay? Because they are, this is very bad, you know? Like what they're trying to do is destroy our religion, you know? They want to change the meaning of marriage, which violates the state's constitution. They don't have the power to come in our religion and tell us what to believe, you know? They can't tell us who God is, you know? They can't come in and write a law and say that we have to believe in their God, right? And they can't do this with marriage. They can't come in and change the meaning of marriage. That violates the Rhode Island Constitution. Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution says the government may not compel a religious contract, okay? And that's what they're doing here. They're compelling people to believe that marriage is something other than a union between a man and a woman. And that violates the state's constitution. To do that, they would need a constitutional convention, okay? And they're trying to bypass the constitution. Also, they're tricking these people. So we don't hate them. We love everybody, you know? And we just don't like, we don't approve of their sin, but we love them, right? But they're tricking them into not having children, okay? Two people of the same sex, they're not going to have kids, right? So they're tricking these people into not having children. And they're also tricking these people into behaviors that will cause a higher rate of disease, okay? They have an 8,600% higher rate of AIDS. When men who have sex with men have an 8,600% higher rate of AIDS than men who have sex with women, okay? And that is bad, right? Because that is a way for them to die, right? So we don't want them to die, right? And we want them to have kids, right? And we also don't want them to interfere with our religious beliefs. And so that's why this is a very just cause which we're standing for, okay? It's not only God's law, but it's also, we're trying to help them, okay? We love them, you know? We just don't love their behavior, you know? But we also don't want them to not have children, and we also don't want them, hi guys, we don't want them to get diseases. Also, when they get diseases, right, when they get like, the Center for Disease Control said that they have an 8,600% higher rate of AIDS, right? When they get diseases, it costs us money. Well, where does that money come from? It comes from the schools, right? That means you're going to have less money in the schools, okay? So, we don't want this, we don't want this type of, you can hear them out there. Oh, I'll hear them out there. You guys have to sign up and speak because they got these other kids, right? And they manipulated them to come speak, you know? And then the public are only going to see them, you know? And if we don't have kids to show that there are people that want man and woman marriage to stay the way it is, and the government has no right into interfering with our religion, you know? Then the public will only see them, and they'll sympathize with these kids. They'll say, oh, those are cute kids, I sympathize with them, but you guys are just as cute. And if you just went up there and said, you know, we're a family, and my mother and my father, they made us, you know, and I don't want you to interfere with the way that men and women have children, you know, or you just say, the government has no right in redefining our religious beliefs. That's what you would say, you know. The government should not redefine marriage, you know. You don't even have to talk a lot, you know. But if you do, you're already children of God, you know. And you being here alone is very, very beautiful. And God knows what you've done here, okay. And, you know, you're going to heaven, okay, for fighting for God. But the thing is, a little bit more would mean a lot, okay. And if you sign up and speak, and you just say, I want men and women marriage to stay the way that it is. And I don't want the government redefining religion, okay? And they'll say this is a civil marriage, right? They'll say this is a civil marriage and not a sacramental marriage, right? But when they get civil marriages, they get regular marriage, okay? In other states, they go through the courts afterwards. Yeah, they go to the courts. Once they get this, then they go to the courts and then they get marriage, you know? And then they start messing with our religions. They arrested priests in Canada for reading from the Bible because they said it was a hate crime now to read from the book of Genesis or to read from the book of Leviticus, to read from the Bible. And no, they didn't arrest any kids yet, but they will in the future. They have these bullying laws, you know, and that if you say it's wrong, it says in my religious beliefs that this is wrong, You know, they will use these bullying laws to arrest you in the future. And that's what they're planning this all out. This is a way to destroy the United States. It's a way to end religion. It's a way to end the family. And it's a way to cause depopulation. Okay? And then they will install a government that you have no freedom. And then they'll install a very, very bad government. And we don't want that. We want to fight against that now. And that's why what you're doing is so good, guys. Okay? And you smile because you're on the side of God. And God already won this battle. Okay? You know God already won, right? Yep. And we're on the side of righteousness. But this is something when you're in heaven, you can say, look what I did for you, Father. And he'll say, I know, I saw, son. I saw you singing. I saw you, my daughter. I saw you singing. You know? And I heard you singing. And you heard the presence of God there, right? Didn't you hear it? When everybody was singing, you could hear it was like heaven, right? That's because you're helping bring forward the kingdom of God. Okay? Now you should go up and speak, okay? It's your responsibility to, but if you can't, it's okay. I understand. Just being here and praying is important, okay? And it's just as important. I'm not saying it's not, okay? But if you can, if you want to be superheroes today, you say 1 or 2 words. You say, I want men and women marriage to stay the same. And that's all you have to say. You don't have to say anything else, you know? But if you want to say something else, you can, okay?
Maybe they should write it down.
God will give you words, okay? You just say, the government has no right to mess with my religion, and that I want men and women marriage to stay the same, you know? You just try, okay? You should speak, though.
Maybe you should write it down for them so they don't. It's hard.
You want me to write it down for you?
It's really hard to speak without notes.
Yeah, I'll write it down for you. Your mom will write it down, and you can say what your mom writes on the paper. You want to speak too? Okay, that'd be good, honey. Yeah, you should speak. You guys can, yeah. You can speak, honey. That would be great. Oh, that would be so wonderful. Can you go get them a fork and then throw it out? Okay. Go get the form and come back and then bring the bag and you can work on your speech, okay? Okay, so do you have a pen?
I feel like they're hero now.
That you're fast typer? You just say that the government may not Yeah, that's good. I know. Some people are tricked. They trick people, and that's what they want, you know. But you guys.
Can you say like according to God?
This is better to write it with a pen.
You can say whatever you want. Just don't swear or anything.
Yeah, you just say anything you want, but
right. Just no swearing or no anything like that.
Going through the natural process is not normal.